right, let's rock and roll. It's this argument. It's elevation angles, people. From the math expert, Mr. Rocket, right? Angle of elevation. He's showing you what you need, the necessary contingent facts to measure an elevation angle, right? You see this line down here. And with triangles, this is called the adjacent. Now, this is the horizontal line. To measure an elevation angle, you must have a flat horizontal adjacent, or a flat B right here. You can't get around that. That's why I say it's so deadly. Let's check this out. Because the only way you're going to get around this, baltards, you can't do it. You have to change all the definitions of elevation angles. So, math is fun. Angle of elevation. The upwards angle from the horizontal to a line of sight from the observer to some point of interest. From Merriam-Webster, angle of elevation. The angle formed by the line of sight and the horizontal plane. See this guy right here? Kablooey. You need a horizontal plane. You need a flat, what they're saying is you need a flat adjacent, or you're not getting an elevation angle. It's as simple as that. For an object above the horizontal, look, they use horizon, horizontal twice in the same short sentence. From radartutorial.edu, measurement of elevation angle. Elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal plane and a line of sight measured in the vertical plane. So you need a horizontal plane, both of them. You can't get around this. You could try to change the definition of horizontal, but you can't do it. I mean, it'll be a feeble attempt, and we'll laugh at you, and you might convince some can't fog a mirrors, but as soon as I put up a triangle, you're finished. It's all over for you. The whole ball-tart spinning space monkey religion implodes right here with the sextant and elevation angles. It's just that simple. We can't get around it. You don't like that simplicity, do you? I love this argument. I just love it. The term angle of elevation, here's the last definition, angle of elevation. The term angle of elevation by varsity tutors denotes the angle from, like all the rest of them said, the horizontal upward to an object. An observer's line of sight would be above the horizontal. Yep, flat, level, flat, adjacent. Simple as that. Well, what does a sextant measure? Would that be elevation angles? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Say goodnight. Say good night. A sextant from NASA, our favorite source. A sextant is a tool for measuring the altitude angle, elevation angle of a star above the horizon. It's over. Right here with elevation angle. Elevation angle, you need a horizontal, flat, level, adjacent, period. Britannica. In the hands of a practice observer, the modern sextant can be used to measure elevation angles with an accuracy of 10 seconds of arc. That is close enough to determine a ship's north-south position within a few hundred meters. And finally, Princeton astronomy. All the observer does now is to use a sextant to measure the angle of altitude. That's the elevation angle, H, of the noon sun with respect to the horizon, and to record the exact time of this measurement. This should turn out the lights, baby. It's simply over right here. There's no argument against this argument. Conclusion, you must have horizontal plane baselines, like I mentioned before, the adjacent, to obtain elevation angles using a sextant. There's no waffling. There's nothing you can do to parse this. It's right in your face. Call your therapist. Baltards, call your therapist. Get them in a community of therapists. You're going to need them. This is a death blow. Because there are no horizontal planes on a spinning monkey ball. Ergo, the Earth is not a spinning monkey ball. Simple as that. You're finished. Say good night. Why? 2021 to 2000, who knows, is the age of the sextant. I'm not going away from this. I'm not moving away. You can bring up all your little Eratosthenes, little mumbo jumbo, but right in the hopper, right when you're done speaking, right when your motor mouth stops, I'm going to hammer you with this. And I'm going to make you look like a fool in front of everyone.
You said, I'm dropping anchor here, and me too. In my opinion, this is the best flat Earth proof to date. It absolutely annihilates the globe. It proves Earth is flat. It's epic. It's brilliant. And yeah, I'll be using this forever. This is an awesome piece of information. Great presentation. I wasn't expecting to rejoin, but I just want to tip my hat to you. I was like, yeah, really great that you've put this into a presentation. Really great that you've laid it out in the way that you have. Awesome. People, I was in the chat saying, pay close attention to what QE is saying right now. This is incredibly important. So I just wanted to re-stress that rather than get on to Bob. So what you've just gone through in the last 5 minutes is the most important point of the year. But for me, my best flat Earth proof, I'll be standing by this from here on in. If someone says, what can you utilize to prove the Earth is flat? This is what I'd use. It also has a Brucey bonus of doubling up as a globe annihilator. So it's just everything. It does lean on the black swan and needs that because it does away with any rebuttal before it's even come your way. So yeah, it can be argued that it rests on the shoulders of the black swan to make it as strong as it is, but it is that strong, and I didn't want that to get under stressed.
So this is the point. If we define a horizontal line, and it's going to be horizontal. It's going to be at 90 degrees to your zenith. So if we live on a ball, that horizontal line is not comporting to the surface of the Earth. So the first horrible red line I've drawn is the one that goes from the observer underneath the horizontal line to represent the curvature of the Earth. And then the two others I've drawn from the object down, one is to the horizontal line, and one is down to where the Earth would be if it was curving away, distinct from the horizontal of the observer. The tangent of the observer, a ball, I might say. There appears to be two different... Well, actually, in a ball world, there's only one elevation, and that's the elevation off the surface, which isn't accounted for in the mathematics. The only mathematics accounted for is from the horizontal line. You're applying trigonometry. Yeah, by their admission, they're a line that would define elevation, their concept of reality, isn't the horizontal line. So they're defining, even in theirs, using the maths they use, to the horizontal line, the first dodgy red line. But if it is elevation, and we use these outside of celestial objects, the same thing. We don't necessarily have to be a star you're doing it. It can be a lighthouse and stuff, can't it?
Any elevation angle that you do, it doesn't have to be a star, right? Correct. It could be a mountain. I think you brought that up before with Alberuni, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would need, the point being, you'd need R to correct for that, and within none of the trig that they do we correct for the perversion of the x-axis in this, the line O to B. Yeah, that is the difference here. That when we're talking about angle of elevation, we're talking about how high something is elevated off the surface.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're going to do that and your mathematics says the surface is straight, you can't then claim that the way you calculated it is from a curving away at a rate of 8 inches per mile. That's not been included in any of the stuff you've done.
No, what I was saying was, the elevation. Remember Alberuni? He come up and I already know you know this because you brought it up like a couple weeks ago. that he knew the height of the mountain. Well, how do you know that without a flat adjacent?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, well, that's where R is even more important, because what he does is he takes two distances far away from the mountain to observe it. But what you'd have to know R to figure out the rate of R from the center of the mountain to the first observer's angle. Then you'd have to calculate the amount of R drop to the second observer angle, and then calculate the differential and apply that to the trigonometry within Alberuni's if you were going to assume you were on a sphere. But you would need R to do it first. That's the trouble.
Yeah, it's finished. Appreciate that, sir. Mitchell from Australia, thanks for coming, man. What's up?
I've been saying this is the number one flat earth proof on my show for the past 3 months, and it hasn't been addressed. It is polarizing for the Globers. They are done. They don't know how to address this. We've got our Bob Rooney, Bob the pseudoscience guy. He's the only one addressing it. Everyone's watching him, wincing. He's failing. He can't address it. No one can address it. It's over. Earth has physically been measured flat. Thanks, QE.
Yeah. Wincing. That's a good word, man. That's what I like it. Yeah, it's exactly what's it. Some of them, like I said, they're just whistling past the grade. They don't even comment on it. They just move on. So, too funny. Thanks for coming, man. Neil.
Oh, he's doing more than wincing. Great presentation. It is the number one flat earth proof, not globe earth debunking, flat earth proof. So, yeah, I'll drop anchor with Nathan and you.